Big boys. Welcome here. I'm going to be your host today. I'm Matthew. It's your Josiah, Simon. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. If you caught our last podcast, that's fantastic. We're talking about hockey last time, and we're going to be talking a little more about hockey this time around. So we're going to be debuting with the Winnipeg Jets, and we're going to talk about the rise and fall of the Winnipeg Jets.
Yes.
So they are quite an interesting team with the just the rich history.
Oh yeah.
So
rich and scandalous history.
It's they got a lot going on. So
From 2011.
kind of what sticks out to me is like you think of players, what makes a franchise. So I always think of the absolute beast of a man, 6'5". 260 pounds, just pure muscle.
Yeah.
Just a train of
massive
power.
Man, and he just carried the team in more ways than one.
Yeah,
and
he did.
Even in playoffs,
for a long time.
Is nuts. And that man is Dustin Byfuglien. Now, Josiah is a stats guy. He knows his stats and his sources, so he knows a lot of. He's a very hardcore Jets fan.
I know.
Same with
all
Simon.
about the Jets.
And they're Jets. I'm Penguins.
Yep.
So I'm gonna let these guys kind of tell me a little more about what made Byfuglien so beastly, because this guy can't be overlooked.
Okay, so to first preface this, I want to go into a little bit of the history of the Jets and how Byfuglien was so important and such an integral part of this team. And honestly, in my personal opinion, the closest that this team ever came to winning the Cup was 2017 with Byfuglien there. And this is the start of why Byfuglien actually left the team, was in 2017-18 playoffs.
Yeah.
He had a really good playoffs there. He had 16 points in 17 games. Not off the top of my head.
He was really good against
And
Minnesota.
He was good against every team there.
Or, yeah,
and
every
especially
team.
even against
Pretty
Vegas. The only reason the Jets lost that series
Yeah.
against Vegas was literally
Pretty much
for
Marc-Andre Fleury.
2 reasons. Yeah. Marc-Andre Fleury was reason number one. They just got totally goalie.
Oh my word.
He would not
He
let
was
in
insane.
he would not let in a puck. It was like
They scored
Fleury
one
would-
goal and on the couple games, and then they couldn't put anything
Flowers.
in.
Shut him
Exactly.
down.
And
was
also
Crazy.
Nasty.
Yeah.
it was mostly Fleury, and then also they had a little bit of lackluster defense, but for the most part it was just Fleury. But before that whole situation came down, and the reason that Byfuglien, the beginning of his irritation started was when they scratched Enstrom, his favorite defensive partner, because Byfuglien likes to go up into the rush, and he used to play right wing with Chicago Blackhawks.
And he knew that Enstrom would be back there to he was good at defending 2-on-1s, keeping the gaps in the pressure a lot better than the other Jets defenseman that wasn't there, because Enstrom was good.
He was the trusted guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Enstrom was trusted by Byfuglien, and he was like, "This is my rock. This is my rock. This is Enstrom. Tobias Enstrom." And then Paul Maurice decides to go in here and shake up the defense.
Big
throw
mistake.
Throw in who did he throw in? Some guy that got hip surgery. Oh, a little guy named Dmitry Kulikov.
Oh, it was Kulikov?
Fresh off of hip surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Guess what? That's not a good idea. Because
hip surgery? Oh,
first off, Byfuglien really didn't trust Kulikov, but he had reason to because Kulikov, it's not that Kulikov is a terrible defenseman, but he plays the same as Byfuglien.
Similar, yeah.
He's not as good as Byfuglien at all, but he plays similar. He kind of likes to go up into the rush.
Yeah, he does.
So
different things to play.
Byfuglien, that was the beginning of the Byfuglien troubles in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
But to go back a little bit further, but before 2017-18, we had Byfuglien holding down the fort for the Jets. The
Hitting
Jets,
people.
from their conception in 2011, they were honestly not the greatest team. They had these core guys, though, that would keep the team motivated, energized, and we would always be on the cusp there, kind of just right outside the playoffs. Like, I think we made the playoffs in 2014 or something there. Remember when Adam Party got the wraparound goal against the Anaheim Ducks and Mark Stewart and okay, yeah, we're not good. We were
Brian Little too.
Brian Little.
He was pretty good, but
all these guys from the Thrashers, it was kind of like
Andrew Ladd too, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was
Andrew
kind of
Ladd,
like this like team that everyone kind of knew that they weren't really like. I mean, like, everyone else in the league kind of knew. It's like, this Thrashers team was no good. Like, everyone kind of knew. It's like, no one really thought of the Thrashers as a competitive team ever. And when the Thrashers came into the league, to go back into the Thrashers history, the Thrashers were a terrible organization. Like,
it was just
I'm like kind of negative when it comes towards the Jets, but what they are from what the Thrashers were to the new Jets, and then like the Jets today is like insane how much progress they actually do have. But like the Thrashers organization was terrible. Their drafting was awful. And
we got Kovalchuk. That was one of the only.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, and that's working out for them so well.
Well, not now, but I mean,
a sniper, man. At least he was.
They drafted that guy first. They drafted that guy first overall.
Oh, yeah.
What's that guy's name? Nolan.
Barbecue?
Patrick Nolan?
Patrick Nolan?
Oh, Patrick Nolan. Yeah,
No. What's his name? They drafted a guy first overall. Patrick Stefan.
Oh.
No, I don't know. They drafted some guy first overall, and he like...
Oh, yeah. He was lighting up the AHL.
Yeah, I don't know if he played good in the AHL, but he was like never a good in the NHL. Like, he was just like a total
No,
bust.
he had scored like 50 in the AHL.
Mm-hmm.
Or not 50,
you're thinking
but like...
of Brett Sterling.
What?
You're thinking of Brett Sterling.
Oh, a different guy.
No, that's not the guy I'm thinking of at all.
There's so many good players.
That guy was drafted in like the 4th round.
Oh, okay.
No one's gonna know who Brett Sterling is. He's like a 4th round pick that had like 50 goals in the AHL and never played an NHL game. Basically,
he did, but not as many.
Anyways, the history of the Atlanta Thrashers is terrible.
Yeah, it's
they
bad.
never had any good goalies, including Andre Pavlik. Andre Pavlik was a washed-up bum. He never should have played for the Jets for 6 years. Don't get me started on Andre Pavlik.
I mean, he wasn't
severely hate Andre Pavlik. Whatever.
Don't hate on him that much.
As a player, not as a human being. Not as...
Okay. As a player, fine, I
guess. To preface this, whenever I say hate, I'm not talking about the person. I don't know who they are as a person.
That's my bad.
I don't know them. I'm just saying that I dislike how they play. Like Mark Stewart. Like a lot of people like him. I hate Mark Stewart. I hate Chris Thorburn. They're not good players.
They weren't good players.
Strictly career-based.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know what Paul Maurice was thinking. I think that's part of the team's problem is Paul Maurice. I think another part of the team's problem was Kevin Cheveldayoff and his mindset back then. I think that he's kind of changed a little bit, but also the team that Kevin Cheveldayoff has right now has fallen into his lap because of his lackluster management. Because coming into the 2011 season, you have Nick Andropov, first-line center. Oh my goodness. What? Nick Andropov, first-line center?
Don't even know who that is.
He's like in the KHL right now.
He wasn't terrible, but not first-line.
Unfortunately, like, I don't know why I know all these rosters. I could probably go down the entire roster and name it. Jim Slater.
Yeah, Jim Slater.
I could name the entire roster. But that aside,
I can't almost
the Jets in 2011, the entire team, besides Andrew Ladd, Blake Wheeler, Brian Little. That was the first line that actually was probably a first line.
Yeah,
the rest of the team was fourth line.
It was pretty bad.
The defense was first line defense. Toby Enstrom and Bufflin, first line defense.
Yeah, definitely first line defense.
Third line AHL scrubs. Like always. Like
Adam Party was a good third. He was an okay third pair probably.
Grant Clitsome, I will say, Grant Clitsome was a good player.
He was a good player. He just had injury. He had like concussions. Yeah, that wasn't his fault.
Mark Stewart isn't even an NHL defenseman. He should never have played in the NHL.
That was freaking.
He's an AHL defenseman. Tyler Myers fiasco, terrible. Andrew Kane. Man, what's his name?
Really bad.
And Evander Kane. Terrible.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All this suffice it to say. Bufflin was
like
the glue that held this team together.
Yeah, he stayed there.
He was the one
who
who
put up
took
points in different
Evander
things,
Kane's tracksuit and threw it into
the shower.
When Evander Kane was late for practice, Bufflin took his tracksuit and threw it in the shower and said, "No,
you're gonna get
we
soaked.
are a hockey team. We don't do this. We don't show up late and say, 'Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm tired. I put my gray sweats on.'" Like,
the only leadership that this team
put on a suit.
has ever seen, the only leadership was Evander, what's his name? Andrew Ladd.
Yeah.
And Dustin Bufflin.
Yeah.
And also,
Enstrom.
Toby Enstrom is actually, I don't know, a little bit there. I don't know.
And Little was a little leader.
Little was a bit of a little leader.
Yeah.
So, seeing how Bufflin shaped this team, and honestly, the rise of the Winnipeg Jets was all to do with how Dustin Bufflin held this team together and mentored our young.
And
in year one, we saw a pretty sad season from the Winnipeg Jets. And we did see throughout years 2011, 2012, 2013, and so on, we saw them gradually collecting these very skilled talents, such as Mark Scheifele, Josh Morrissey,
Connor
Hellebuck, second round.
That's a steal.
Connor Hellebuck's good though. That's
in the later years we got Kyle Connor. I think was 2017.
Yeah.
Yes.
2016. I don't know who our first round pick would have been.
Was it Cobb? No. When did you guys get Cobb?
Because Roslovic was maybe 2016. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Roslovic. Oh, and then we got Line A. Obviously that didn't pan out that well, but
Scheifele was like 2014.
What?
Or something.
I don't think that Cheveldaev could have done too much more with this team, considering the attitude problem in Winnipeg. But I think a lot of the attitude problem was started by Blake Wheeler. And
yeah, through everything.
I don't know if this is just him. Like, I know that
dude seems to be good now. Like,
Blake Wheeler was drafted by the Arizona Coyotes, and he refused to sign with them and refused to play with them. So, in my personal opinion,
he was drafted by Boston.
I think that Blake Wheeler's always had an attitude problem. I don't think he ever should have been captain of the Jets, and I think he stuck around way too long, caused problems with Line A, caused problems with Roslovic and some of the younger players.
Caused problems with Dubois a little bit.
He's a negative Nancy.
Not Dubois. Dubois already had that.
Negative Ninny.
And I think that
that wasn't even
another part of this whole fiasco is that Wheeler and Bufflin maybe had a little bit of differences of opinion. And Blake Wheeler really, really messed with the Jets, okay? But Dustin Bufflin, he held them together, he brought them together, and he raised these guys. He raised these young guys, and he brought them up.
Little babies.
And he tried his best to keep this team together. And unfortunately, Blake Wheeler's negativity was too strong. It overflowed, and that locker room became very, very toxic.
Yep.
So, somehow, they seem to get past this. I don't know exactly how.
They just
Maybe
played through it. I don't know.
Some of the younger kids coming in here and trading away Blake Wheeler.
Best decision of their life.
Yeah, that was it. Just needed to be done because
as long as Wheeler has been around, they have mostly, for the most part, seemed like they've been a negative team.
Yeah.
And there's also I think that it's also just like a team mindset too.
Yeah.
Bringing in a new coach has helped. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like the rise, fall, and then rise again.
Yeah.
Because when they first came into the market, 2011 till 2016, they were maybe 17. They were just kind of all of the fans and everyone in Winnipeg was just okay, happy to be watching them. Glad they're a competitive team. They weren't last place or anything. And then,
usually they're basically competitive. Yeah.
And then was it 2016 when they got Line A?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah.
2017 or 2016?
2015.
2016.
15 was McDavid. Anyways, so they played like a competitive game until
probably 2016.
2016. They like
or something like
just totally fell off the wagon, and they were like terrible.
Yeah, they had that gap when they went through, like, they made the playoffs there, and then they just, after that, they kind of had like that lull, and then went worse, and then they missed the playoffs, and
it's like
stuff, and then then they got Line A, and then they did better after that. They built it up around them, and then started getting better a little bit. Got a couple different players.
But you got to wonder, is there a culture problem in Winnipeg?
I don't know.
Is it Kevin Shovel day off? Like, why did Line A want to leave so badly? Is it because of Wheeler, or is it because of a different reason?
Badly?
Because now you see them becoming like this crazy good team, and I feel like with Line A that they were a really good team too, and now it's like, are they going to do the same thing, or are they going to actually go in and start to win in the playoffs? Because they went in, it seemed like everything was going good, and then Paul Maurice comes in and throws in Kulikov off of a fresh hip surgery, and it's like, was Paul Maurice the problem? Because I feel like they had that Claude Noel for a while, and he was not
my word, he was not the worst.
He was a pretty bad coach. Then they brought in Paul Maurice, and they had, I think, a 40-something win season, which is a lot for the Winnipeg Jets back then.
Yeah.
And then we're like,
it's still
Paul Maurice, he's the best. But after that, they come in 2017, they're coming in the playoffs, winning some games, and we're like,
they got to a conference final.
Okay, this is the best team, the best Jets team we've ever seen.
It was like just crazy.
Honestly, it felt like they were going to win the cup. Round number 2.
Yeah.
I think round 1 was against St. Louis. Or am I? No, I'm thinking.
Round 1 was Minnesota. Round 2 was St. Louis.
Was it?
Yeah.
Anyway, what about Nashville? Because I thought round 2 was Nashville.
Oh, Nashville. Oh yeah, round 3 was
No, round 3 was Vegas.
Oh, maybe they
had two runs in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, maybe they.
Anyways,
maybe
they've had a couple runs in the playoffs.
Yeah, I forget which one it was.
Anyways, the round against Nashville literally felt like the Stanley Cup Finals. I think. I think that was the best 2 teams in the NHL.
Yeah,
I think that was 2017-18, I believe.
Yeah,
but
that was crazy.
Then after they got just like they didn't get
was Pecorino.
They didn't get destroyed by the Jets.
Pretty good.
I mean, they didn't get wiped, but it was like a super close series. Went to 7 games, and then it was
hard for them.
It was crazy. And then they come in against Vegas, and Vegas just like totally like steals the series from them.
Somehow wrecked shop, like something.
It seemed like the Jets were going to come in and maybe win in like 5 or 6, and Vegas won in 5.
Vegas was just built different then. That was their year. That wasn't that was the year they came to the league, right? Their first year, and they went all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah. And I think
William Karlsson was on a freaking heater.
And the thing about
he was absolutely he scored his first season. He scored 40 goals.
Yeah.
Like the thing about Vegas is that like
nuts.
That was crazy because they were like
that was just everything went good for them that year.
But they also they've been good the entire time.
Yeah, it's a similar system. They still have Marcia Show. They still have Pietrangelo. They just traded they've traded out Hill for Fleury. Hill's been really good since, right? And Logan Thompson.
Yeah, but
they found some good goals.
I think Vegas is just a good overall environment and a good system because pretty much any goalie you throw in there is playing good.
Yeah, like through their
Logan Thompson.
They have. Then
I think that's why the Jets are.
What?
That's his name, isn't it?
Huh? Logan Thompson, yeah.
Why did you look at me like that?
I don't know.
If you throw Logan Thompson on the Jets, do you think he's going to do that good?
No.
Hellebuyck's top tier.
But
Hellebuyck plays a different game.
The Jets system is totally different, but I think that the Jets isn't as team-based as it should be.
Yeah, it's more through just defense instead of going up through.
It's more team-based than it used to be, though.
Well, they don't even have that much star power right now. Like, they don't have like a McDavid, Draisaitl. They don't have like
Vegas
nothing.
Doesn't really though. Vegas has Stone. They have Eichel.
Like a Matthews, Marner, Nylander.
Vegas has Eichel now.
Nylander. Well, look how
Morgan
good that's.
Riley, like
to win in this
Freddie
league.
Anderson,
To win in this league, you need to have a team-based game.
It is.
That's why Vegas built.
Look at the Oilers. Look at the Leafs. Okay, the Oilers are doing good in the regular season, but what are they going to do in the playoffs? Because in the playoffs, you get grinded down. Your first line could get tired. Your first line could get injured. Same thing with the Leafs. Like, they have Tavares, Nylander, Marner. And then those guys, if they don't perform in the playoffs, out in the first round. Because if your first line doesn't perform, they have two third lines of AHLers.